Alright, okay. Good afternoon. My name is Martell Coleman. I'm gonna do a quick interview, for my friend Alex. She asked me to do this, and I want to give her a shout out her website at BlackGirlsTravel2.com. Once again, that's BlackGirlsTravel2.com, and I'm just gonna introduce myself, and I'm just gonna read some questions and touch on a few topics. First off, I want to introduce myself. My name is Martell Coleman. I'm 23 years old, and for a living, I am a welder. Okay, the first question we got is why are independent black women having a hard time finding a black man to be with? And before I start, I just want to say this is my opinion. None of this is facts. None of this has been proven. This is just my beliefs, what I stand on, the thoughts that's in my head. And in my opinion, I think it's hard for black women to find a black man to be a good black man to be with. Let's be specific. I think it's hard because I think I don't know. I honestly feel like it's hard for black women to find a good black man to be with because like independent. That's take that the keyword independent. I mean, I feel like it's good to be independent, but I don't think honestly, and like I said, it's my opinion. I don't think women was meant to be independent. I think women was supposed to be dependent of men, and I think it's hard. It's hard for women to find a black man to be with just based on the strength that we've been tricked. Like this been real. Like we've been tricked. Like women feel like they gotta get out here and get it. I hear a lot of women saying, "I'm my own man," or "I'm the father." I mean, that's the wrong mind state to have. And I'm not putting the blame completely on women because it started with us. It started with us black men. And I say that on the strength of, we should do better. We should be better. We should achieve more. We should give a woman more to feel she can be dependent of. And we haven't done that. So I think that's the reason, in my opinion, that independent black women is having a hard time finding black men. And just being too independent, stubborn come with that. Just I meet a lot of women that have a take on a nonchalant attitude about relationships, and based off their credentials, their career, they feel like either he come into her life exactly what she want and need, or she move on to the next. More fish in the sea, and I feel like that's the wrong mind state to have. I feel like if you find someone you believe in, you got to build that person up. If you on top of your game, if you know you're doing what you love to do, you're pursuing your career, you're making the money you want to make, you're where you want to be physically, mentally, spiritually, and then you meet a man who's partially that, but you see the potential, and I think potential is a key word. I'm not saying you wait 10, 20 years for this guy to reach it, but if you see the potential in this man, I say go for it. I say like destroy the barriers and go for it. Believe in him, put some faith in him. Excuse me. Put some faith in him. Stand behind him, support him, love him. You know what I'm saying? Reassure him, let him know it's gonna be okay. Because it's 2016, like we already have a lot of strikes against us as black men. So, the last thing we want to do is have to come home and fight another battle with our woman. That should be our place of peace. And I think a lot of women don't understand that. A lot of women feel because, she's in a good place career wise, or she's educated, which is all a plus. Definitely don't get me wrong, it's definitely all a plus. But there's more to it. I feel like where's the love? Like if I come home from work, I don't ask for much, but a simple hug or ask about my day, rub my shoulder because this is my home, this is my place of peace. The world is cruel. Like we're being hunted, black men. And so I feel like that's why it's hard for black women to find a good black man because the peace, like you have to restore the peace. And I think peace starts from the head, which is the man. So as men, we have to do better. Okay, the second question we got is requiring a man to have his own place, car, a skill, and a job too much to ask of a black man in 2016? Especially if the men are almost in their 30s. Why or why not? I don't think that's too much to ask for. I honestly don't think that's too much to ask for, especially at that age. I feel like I feel like you should be ambitious as a man. You should definitely be ambitious enough to go out and get it. Like you have to work, you have to provide, you have to believe in yourself. You can't lay around all day dreaming and not actually get up and make those dreams a reality. Like you have to have a plan. So I feel like no, that's not asking for too much because it works the same way. Like it's a word called standards, and everybody should hold themselves to high standards. Nobody wants to be with a woman who has low standards, low self esteem, and so if you come into her life and you see, oh, she got herself together, and you don't, what can you possibly bring to the table? Like, what can you possibly do for her? How can you improve her life? How can you better her? Like, yeah, you might bring a lot emotionally. You might bring a lot of good emotionally and spiritually. You can better her, but at the end of the day, can she depend on you? If she fall off tomorrow, can she depend on her man to take care of the load? Can you take the weight off her shoulders? So I don't think that's asking for too much. I think at that age, you should at about 30, like you should find yourself. Like you should have been on the path of finding yourself, and you should know where and what direction you want to go far as your life and what you see at 30. Like a woman at that age, a woman should be able to ask you, where do you see yourself? Like, how many kids do you want? Do you want to get married? Do you want to advance in your career? Do you want to start your own business? And you should be able to answer those questions with no problem at that age. So I don't think that's asking for too much. I think it comes to a point in your life where you got to put the games aside, the fun to the side, and you have to really buckle down and take care of business. And that's definitely a good age to be established. Okay, so we have another question is, should a black woman be prepared to take care of a black man to some extent? I believe that to some extent we gonna take care of each other. In my opinion, we was we was created to love. Everything else, in my opinion, comes second. Everything else uh, take a back seat to love. So yeah, I mean, and it worked the same way. Like if I get into a relationship with a woman, I'm prepared and I understand that I'm gonna have to take care of her as well. Because the more time you spend with a person, that's in my opinion, the process of getting to know a person is me personally. I feel like show me your flaws. Like the good would show. Excuse me. The good would show, but show me your flaws. And I say that because I want to be able to know, and I want to be sure of myself to know that if you show me your flaws and I've shown you mine, and we decide to go forward with one another, I want to be sure that where you lack, I can pick up the slack, and vice versa. So yeah, we're gonna take care of each other. Like I said before, it's 2016. Black people, we are hunted. Like black is beautiful. And I think the world understands where it all began. So with that being said, I think it comes to a point where we're a team. We have to believe in one another. We have to take care of one another. We can't slander and bash each other for our flaws. We just pick up the slack. You know. All right. What can black men and black women do to repair the relationship dynamics? That's a good question. That's a great question, actually. In my opinion, what can be done to repair the relationship dynamics? I think. I think the gender roles. Yeah, I say, in my opinion, I say the gender roles. Like, I meet a lot of people, a lot of women who, single mothers, who've been single for so long, who chase their dreams and pursue their career, and they say, I don't need a man. And a lot of single mothers say, I'm the father and the mother, and I think that's the wrong mind state to have. And I think it's just to repair. We gotta believe in one another. We have to destroy the egos. Everything starts with the ego. Destroy that. Destroy the gender roles because we need one another. Like we were created for unionship, uh, to coexist, to love one another. And I think that becomes hard when we constantly the constant battle is the breadwinner. I'm the breadwinner, and I know it comes down to a lot of women feel like when they take a backseat to a man and a man's breadwinner, he try to control. And there's actually a lot of that going on. I think as men, I'm speaking for brothers, for the men, we have to destroy that. We have to understand that the woman was not created underneath us. The woman in my opinion, the woman is actually above us. I would prefer us put the woman ahead of us because, women endure and go through things we can't. Women give life. Women bear life. They give birth. We can't do that. I've talked to women who said that's a pain, that unbearable. Nothing compares to it. And for a woman to actually lay down and go through that pain for us, that speaks volumes. So we have to destroy, the gender roles. Like as a man, you can't think, only thing I can bring to the table is paying her bills and keep her nails and hair done. No. No, that I don't agree with that. I feel like as a man, yes, you are supposed to be a provider because a man, a father, all that in my opinion, comes down to head of household. That's what I hear when I hear that. When I hear man, head of household. But that doesn't mean be controlling. That doesn't mean all I have to do is work and I can sit around drinking and playing video games. No, you can cook, you can clean, you can take the initiative, you know. And I think also to repair the relationship dynamics, black women have to understand that we're not the enemy. You know what I'm saying? I've met a lot of great black women who's accomplishing and doing big things. And I feel like they have to understand that we're not the enemy. We're not the ones in the ring fighting against you. We're actually the ones in your corner rooting for you. We the ones there with the ice pack and the towel and the water. We your biggest cheerleader, your coach when you're off the game. That's what it has to come down to repair. We have to destroy the ego, get rid of the gender roles, and communication. I'm gonna put that in there too. Communication is a big key. You know, you have to be willing and open. You have to be open to one another and confide in one another. Be open. Expose yourself. Like and in today's society, that's a hard thing to do because media, the social media, everybody put on this facade. Everybody's creating this person they want the world to perceive them as. When I feel like we have to kill that. Be vulnerable with your mate. Be vulnerable with your significant other, and be flawed. Like show your flaws. Show that you can be improved. Show that you're not perfect. Show that you need her as much as she needs you. Make her feel important. Make him feel important, and just love one another. It all boils down to love. There's no boundary to love. Unconditionally love one another, and I feel like that's what I feel, in my opinion, can restore the relationship dynamic. And that's it as far as this interview. That's all I got so far. Like I said, if Alex need me, she know how to get in touch with me. Once again, I want to give her a huge shout out for this. I'm appreciative that she actually chose me to do this. So I'm honored. And once again, the website is BlackGirlsTravel2.com. Excuse me. I'm gonna say it again. It's BlackGirlsTravel2.com. Support her. She's on to something. So let's support and let's look out for one another. It's time we, like I said, we come together. We look out for one another and support the movement. Thank you. Have a good day.